Hello ladies and gentlemen, Top Hat Gaming Man here, and today I have decided to talk about something completely hypothetical. You see, there was that Super Mario Brothers movie that was released in 1993. You know, that bloody god-awful film with actual live action actors. The film was so terrible in fact, and so awful that top quality actors such as Bob Hoskins couldn't even save it. He's a really great British actor and is in quality films such as The Long Good Friday, for example. So, the star of something as great as The Long Good Friday had the same lead as the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yuck. Anyway, in regards to that film, I'm sure it traumatised many of you in your childhood. And for once, I'm not going to be contrarian about the subject whatsoever. I completely agree, that film is horrible and it disturbed me just as much. Absolute joke. Anyway, with regards to that film, I heard one of the reasons it was so terrible was because you basically had these directors who, what I believe, they were just so up their own arse that they believed, I know, I'll just throw the Super Mario Brothers formula out the window and everything was great about it and I'll just make something abstract from the ground up. So yeah, that's what they basically did. They thought they was better than Miyamoto and co, and they just built something in their own image. And what they ended up building was some complete hipster nonsense. Complete mess of a film. Horrible. Like, who was the target audience? Because from what I could see, there was no targets, full stop. Yes, anyway, Super Mario Brothers the movie. Crap film. However, something rather profound and interesting could possibly have been achieved with it, which could have been a lot of fun today. I like talking about what ifs on this channel sometimes, and in regards to this what if they had have released Super Mario Brothers the movie, the game? Yes, and if that was to have been released, I would have liked to have seen it on the Philips CDI. Like, come on, how amusing would that have been? Right in there with Hotel Mario and the Wand of Gamelon and Zelda's Adventure and all the silly games like that. It just would have been perfect, wouldn't it? Especially the fact that they wouldn't have really have even needed to make a game. They could have just used scenes from the movie, chopped them all up and just like stuck them together and made it like a full motion video game, like a Tesco value version of Dragon's Lair, if you understand what I'm saying. Kind of like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game, for example, which is on the Sega Mega CD, I believe. They could have done exactly the same thing with the Mario Brothers movie. It just would have been a really cheap, amusing corporate cash-in. So it's a shame really that that never happened, because I think Super Mario Brothers the movie and the Philips CDI, that would literally be a match made in gaming heaven. Like, you could not match two things up more cohesively than that. So it's a shame that that never happened. And so what I'd like to say from here, it's never too late, is it? We live in a world where we've got this information superhighway where we can all share ideas and make these ridiculous things a reality. Now we have great homebrew developers all over the place, making all these weird and wonderful projects. For example, I mentioned on my channel earlier this week that I've just purchased a copy of Hyper Fighting for the Virtual Boy. And if you're unfamiliar with that game, basically some lunatic out there has made a fully functional version of Street Fighter 2 for the Virtual Boy. And it bloody functions just as good as a SNES version. And it's on a Virtual Boy, a platform with very little in the way of decent games. So there are homebrew developers out there who are willing to make these bizarre projects come true. As I said, like that Street Fighter game. And there's been others over the year as well, like someone remade Metroid 2, didn't they, before Nintendo did it. There is a ridiculous range of homebrew Pokemon games, like far too many for anybody to really actually want to play. Like, come on, we only need 2 or 3 homebrew Pokemon games. Like, why do we need bloody hundreds and hundreds of them? Like, homebrew developers, like, come on, create something. Well, not original-ish, using existing IPs, but don't just keep creating the same games over and over again. We don't need any more Pokemon homebrews, do we? So yes, use your time more wisely and get cracking on Super Mario Brothers the movie for the Philips CDI. I am sure you could make a lot of dirty money selling illegal copies of it. I'd certainly buy one anyway, and I'd be happy to market it on my channel too. So, that's my challenge to all of you out there. If you have some programming knowledge, because I have absolutely nothing myself, get working on a Super Mario Brothers the movie, the game for the Philips CDI. If you're just like me, and you have no skills whatsoever within that field, then I suppose get on Twitter and start nagging people to make the game. Get on bloody forums, get them to make the game. Let's make this stupid game a reality. I'm sure it will be amusing for us all, and I'm sure you'll get all those YouTubers making Let's Plays of it to making a ridiculous amount of money too. Yes, bloody riding coattails. Cheerio!
Born in London in '86, a Stacho gent named Richard Parliament. He loves to wrestle, but he loves one more thing: handhelds round the world. He fights in his comments and he argues with fans. It's a problem no one understands. If there's two things he loves, it's getting an handhelds round the world. Drinking fine wine, fighting fanboys, handhelds round the world.
Top Hat Gaming Man.